Hi, Spirits Vessel here, and I am doing the June 2019 reading for Pisces Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you watch this video, if you feel like it resonates with you, great. And if not, well then I guess this just wasn't I wasn't the reader for you. I'm just gonna real quickly mute my phone because I forgot to do that. And I just had a conversation with a friend of mine, and she was looking at the ocean, and we were talking about how soft. That's interesting. That's really, I'm gonna keep that. I like that. I don't know what's going on with Pisces, but I like that. Um, we were talking about how the ocean looks so soft and inviting, but it's actually really deep and scary once you're in the waters. But it looks inviting, doesn't it? It's kind of how Pisces energy is, you know? There's something about being in the presence of a Pisces person. The amount of depth they have and their ability to just completely accept you into their waters. I love Pisces energy, man. I really do. They just have this level of forgiveness and compassion for everything, and they'll love you whether you're broken or not, and they'll love you more if you're broken. So I feel like when I'm tuning into you guys just right now, this is the only card that's popped out. I'm feeling pretty good. That's kind of interesting. Okay. All right. Huh. Well, this is an interesting spread, because the way I do reversals, I do them as if it's an internal process going on. And I'm feeling like there's a lot of anxiety about the future. And your own stability, and it's financial. And I think the thing about Pisces is that you guys are so good at going with the flow, and you guys are so good at just surrendering to life. And sometimes it can look like chaos from an outsider. The way Pisces does things, it's a lot of it's not linear. A lot of it's based on feeling. A lot of it's based on intuition. A lot of it's based on knowingness that they can't even quite explain. Sorry, my cat is over here trying to get into stuff. But yeah, Pisces has a little bit of a hard time explaining themselves in a practical sort of way, unless they have some earth element in their chart. And I kind of feel like there is, because I see this Eight of Swords coming in. I feel like there's a lot of self-imposed anxiety about what their reputation is. I'm getting this from the Pentacles here. The King and the Queen of Pentacles is in this spread, and I feel like because they're not coming in upright, they're coming in reversed. It's a internal alchemy that's going on, realizing that perhaps now is the time that I start putting roots down. And this King of Cups could be someone coming in, someone who is a masculine presence, who is really in control of their emotions, that's helping to sort of guide this process along. Or this could be the Pisces person themselves adopting this principle within themselves, becoming their own King of Cups, becoming their own master of their emotions. Sometimes Pisces can get overwhelmed by the things that they feel. And but it's interesting, because we're starting off with the Ten of Cups. So there's a lot of happiness that's going on. But I think along with that happiness, now there's like, okay, so like, what do I do now? And it's almost like this happiness feels like it's coming from this stability that's happening. And at the same time, it's like, oh my God, this is what I always wanted. Holy shit, I'm completely terrified of what I've always wanted. And, and it's almost like a crossroads. I feel like you guys know that you're on the precipice of something. There's been a period of isolation for sure, and kind of feeling like you're on your own. This Five of Pentacles here, this could be financial worries. This could be a problem with finances. And having stability, finances are a part of it. But there's definitely a feeling of like I'm out in the cold and I'm having to do this alone. I'm not with my peers anymore. I'm feeling like a little impoverished. I'm feeling like I'm at a low point, and I'm not sure if I have a whole lot going for me right now. And I think because this was kind of instigated by this Eight of Swords moment, I think there was a moment of reflection where you guys were just like, I don't know about this. I don't know how I'm feeling in myself right now. And I think that probably the questioning of that, it upset some people, I think, which is why you're kind of out in the cold. That's why you're out in the cold right now. And the Hermit, it's at the middle of this whole spread. And the Hermit is a solitary sign. It's where you go in to get your internal wisdom. It's the card of Virgo. So going back to that whole seeking stability, we've got we've got these pentacle cards set up right here. And Virgo is all about stability. Virgo wants things to be planned and orderly and practical. And it's the opposing sign of Pisces. So I think there was a period of being like really out in the deep and really out in just the chaos. And now there's this time where it's like, okay, what have I learned from this chaos, and how can I create order out of this? So June is a time where there's a lot of self-reflection, a lot of assimilating of all the things that you've learned out there in the chaos. How can you take this Ten of Cups that you learned while out there and then apply that to your life in a new way, instead of having more control and having a little bit more tangible security? And the Two of Swords, it's like there's something happening where there's two different paths that you can see. that have presented themselves. And neither one is really winning out. You'd be okay with either decision. And I really do believe it has to do with just growing up and realizing that, like, oh my goodness, like things are starting to solidify and this is a little scary. And I think there's some this energy, this eight of swords energy. I think you're at a crossroads whether or not you want to give that up, because there's been a lot of benefit to having this eight of swords energy, of having this anxiety and having an identity wrapped up in that mental anguish, that a lot of it was self-imposed as well. And sometimes, you know, our harshness and our demons a lot of the time define us more so than our angelic side. So I think there's like this definite understanding that some things need to be cut. They need to be sliced out of you like a surgery. Which is hard for a Pisces, because Pisces literally loves everything. Pisces doesn't want... It's like, it's weird. It's like you guys are in the... Whereas like with Scorpio, with that water sign, it's all about death and rebirth and the transmutation process of that. Pisces is kind of in the afterlife. It's kind of in the in-between state. There's like no death and no birth to Pisces. It's like, where do you end and I begin? So the finite idea of death is kind of foreign to a Pisces. It's like they understand it, and at the same time, life is death. Life is always flowing to them. So they're almost like, oh, you mean like actually dead, you know, like, you mean I have to like cut this out and I can't be everything and nothing all at once? You mean I have to have some sort of structure limitation here? What? I can't do that. And there's some sort of like, you know, like a marriage or commitment of sorts. You know, and I really do think it's this merging of this Queen and King of Pentacles. You know, this is a mastery of physical comfort and of stability. And I think that's what you've chosen, or what you're going to choose. I think there is a definite like, I'm gonna take this path, and this is what I want, and this is what brings me happiness, is this security that's here. And it's what you've been wanting. You know? It's really what you've been wanting. And maybe you didn't know that. I think you guys didn't know that for a while. You know, you weren't sure what you wanted. And that's kind of where Pisces is at. You know, Pisces, again, does not try to put any sort of limitation or fixed energy on something. It's mutable. It's mutable water. And I think you guys knew, it's like, as long as I just keep floating, I'm going to find something to grab onto. And you did. I don't think it's what you thought it was going to look like, but I think you found it. And I think whatever cutting energy you have to do, and I'm gonna do some more. I'm gonna pull some more cards on this Two of Swords here. Interesting. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was feeling off of it. You know, like this is the end of a cycle, and it's something you had to go through. Being in the anguish and being cut by all the swords. And it's interesting the two cards that came up. You know, we've got the Four of Cups and the Five of Cups, and both cups are a warning. Both of these cards are a warning. The Four of Cups, you don't want to stay stuck on the Three Cups. The universe is giving you a cup. Get the hell over it. And you've got the Five here again. The Three Cups are knocked over and you're still grieving over that. You've got two cups left. And you know what? Those cups are probably better than the other three. And, you know, I think kind of what's coming in for me is that there's this fear that of like normalcy, that maybe you won't be as interesting without all the chaos. But I don't feel that way for you guys. Kind of want to do some more. I'm going to pull some more cards for this here. So, yeah. Definitely old heartache, old feelings of lack, old feelings of possessiveness. I have a feeling that your relationships with women as of late have not been ideal. You know, I think there's been some possessiveness with the women in your life. You know, it's not there's no real you know, the Three of Cups is usually a card of like celebration, but I just see this as like mess. You know, it's like gossipy mess. And it's interesting how that Four of Pentacles came up here, and then we're going into the Five of Pentacles. So this old lack, this old heartbreak, this lack of security, this lack of trust. You know, there's a reason why you were in the Eight of Swords, but I don't believe you're in that anymore. But I think the ten of Cups is what made you understand that you're not in this Eight of Swords energy anymore. I mean, that's kind of like what happens when you reach a state of happiness and it's so profound and it's so amazing. We start thinking about the other shoe dropping, and then all this comes up, all this feeling of like, but what if it goes away? And you know, a lot of like, unfortunately, when we start to reach a new level of happiness in ourselves, we really start to see who has our back and who doesn't. And I wish it wasn't that way, you know, but that, and with Pisces, you know, because they tend to see everything through rose-tinted glasses, it can be hard for them sometimes when they start to see the true colors of people, or they start to have feelings of lack, these really and insecurity, these real kind of like human emotions. Like a lot of Pisces people I know, you know, they're always like, well, you know, it's gonna get better, or I'm just surrendering, let go and let God. And they really do believe that, even if they're not like super spiritual. They usually do believe that if they just go with the flow, to work itself out. So to have feelings of like lack and inferiority and you know, sometimes Pisces can get in their own head, you know, kind of like the Kurt Cobain type Pisces, where they're like martyrs. But a lot of Pisces people I know, they embrace whatever martyr self they have. They embrace that part of them, and they believe it's for a higher purpose. So when they start to feel really human, sometimes it can get to them. I'm going to do one final card, which is the Queen of Cups reversed. I'm going to pull some more about that. Interesting. Interesting. So we've got the Star and the Sun and the Queen of Cups reversed. I think that they're you're definitely the Queen of Cups in this. There is a mastery of the stability and the emotions. And I think maybe for a while you had one and not the other. But now you have both. And this Sun coming in like this, along with the Star, and you've got the Two of Wands here. You know, the Two of Wands is like looking out at the world, about to make this decision. And you also have the Two of Swords there. Again, you're at like a cross purpose. Like what's a decision I'm going to make? And I think you're realizing that this internal Queen of Cups energy that's going on, I think you're realizing that you are the Sun and the Star. You're really seeing how much of a gift you are to the world. And this could be that an Aquarius is coming into your life. You know, this could be triggered by someone outside, because the Sun and the Star are both coming in upright. Or this could just be that you're getting a lot of outside feedback about how you're such a bright light and how you like a star. You light up the room when you walk in, you know? I think you guys are finally able to see that, and you're making the decision to see it, and you're making the decision to welcome this world in. And it's kind of interesting, you know, it's like whenever I see twos, to me it's almost like a synthesis. You know, you've got, it's like the high priestess, you know, you've got the one that's the magician. Well, the two is like, if the magician and the one is the start of the idea, that's the seed that got planted. Well, the two is like the watering of the seed, and three, we're starting to see some growth coming out of it. So I think this is all really good stuff. I'm thinking of a couple of Pisces people that are in my life right now, and I kind of want to reach out to. But I mean, no matter what, I think they're fine, because this spread is showing me they're fine. But I think, you know, they're going through a little process right now where they're definitely shedding off some old skin, which is not a bad thing at all. So anyway, if you feel like that reading resonated with you, please like and subscribe. You can go to my website for more details about me at spiritsvessel.com, and you can email me at spiritsvessel@gmail.com if you would like a personal reading. I will leave the details in the description box below. Thank ya. Bye-bye.